All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Straight ahead, we pull the curtain on the postseason with an AFC wildcard matchup between the Miami Dolphins and our home team. What twists and turns will January have in store for us? The NFL playoffs are officially underway. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. They'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play. It's second down.
And there's the first tackle of the game for Carl Joseph. He's one of those safeties that you can utilize in any way you want. But I will have to say, I think the number one thing he does best is tackle.
To throw on second down. Franks, man open. It's J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down.
It's a gain of 17 yards. First down, Dolphins.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Right there in Tucson. I smell fear in that offense. I smell fear. Ready to go.
On first down, here's Breida. Carl Joseph up from his safety spot to make the play.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second down, a run with Breida. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 43. They'll run it now out of the gun. The linebacker Ryan Shazier there to make the tackle.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits, and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now a pass dumped off to his running back. And the play goes nowhere, losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a third down. From the gun, Franks, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We said it before the game, and I think it's still apparent. If these guys are going to advance in these playoffs, they're going to have to wreak some havoc coming off the edge.
Yeah, wild card round, they told us the wild card could be that defensive pressure. They showed it there. On 4th down, Matt Hawk to punt it away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Now the former 4th-round pick, it's Kalen Ballage. It's a foot race. The 20, 10, touchdown. Kalen Ballage, an 80-yard touchdown as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They've been a come-from-behind team all year. They'll need to do it again as they trail early in this wild card game. They'll start on the ground with Breida. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Third down, Franks, and that will be incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities, but that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. Fielded at the 20. Now a hit and a loose football, and this is picked up by the Dolphins. Was hoping to make a play there on the return with his speed. Instead, he makes a play for the other side.
Yeah, and how many times have we heard coaches say, you know, sometimes it's not really about those X's and O's we draw up. It's about those Jimmies and Joes. And when you have a punt returner, he's one of those Jimmies and Joes, one of the best athletes. He's unable to make the play that they were seeking, though.
And that'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
57's the mic. Watch 57. Watch it slack. Watch it slow on it. Slack. Deuce. Swing. Sit up. Kill. Turn up. Kill. Turn up.
Second down, Haskins. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
Well, it doesn't take any great analysis. No jokes, partner, okay? All right, on this one. But we just know that we're going to see this as the game moves forward. There's going to be 2 guys on him at just about every snap.
It's kind of a dare to throw his way, but they have to keep throwing his way.
The benefits could be great. You throw it to a great receiver, he could come down with it anyway.
57's the mark. 57's the mark. Go. Kill.
Third down. Here's Haskins. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Good one, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
6 guys. Check 6 head.
Now it's Breida. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down. They run with Breida. And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Switch up.
They'll try to pick this up on the ground with Breida. And able to pick up the first across midfield to the 47. He needed a yard. That's what he got, and it's going to earn him a new set of downs.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Once again, they run with Breida on 1st down. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Here's Breida. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. T.J. Watt in on the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. It didn't happen on that play.
This is Breida. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. The Dolphins on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Operating from the gun, Franks. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off Byron Jones. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
They'll start on the ground with Balaj. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Give him a 1st down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Here's a run on 1st down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Balaj. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Here's Haskins. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the 1st down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a 1st down.
They'll indeed go for it with Haskins. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a 1st down.
Mission accomplished on that throw. Slant, pick up the 1st down. I like how he just put it on the receiver and didn't lead him on that one.
Happened quickly. Defense, not much they could do. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Throwing again, here's Haskins. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. Coming up at the half, we remind you that we're going to do what we've done all year. We'll get you down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. Coach will have the lowdown of what's going on here in this wild card weekend as we begin the road to the upcoming Super Bowl.
Watch the run, watch the run. Check 59, Mike.
To throw on third down. Haskins. Oh, trying to get that to Adams, but that's intercepted. Picked off around the 41.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Now a give to Breida. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Franks. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
A big play that time for the Raiders. 42 yards. And Mr. Reliable shows those legs again here in the playoffs.
And what do coaches tell us all the time? In the playoffs, the team that runs the football well will win the game and ultimately be a champion. They're trying to prove that fact today.
Setting the tone on the ground. Give him maybe a yard, quite the opposite from the previous big gainer.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now Balaj. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Flush to his right. He's got his man on the crossing route. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. From the red zone now, Haskins on 1st down. This one into the hands of the running back, Balaj. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield.
And he's over the line and in for a Raider touchdown. Kalen Balaj with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 14-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So we're at halftime of this AFC wildcard matchup as we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, both teams trying to avoid being one and done in these playoffs as we start the second half of this AFC wildcard game.
Let's go, baby.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
One play has them up past the 40 already and another 1st and 10. Now Haskins on 1st down. Going up top. That's caught inside the 20. They give him a gain of 38. I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the third quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. Then he'll take it all the way up near the 30-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
A handoff to Breida to begin the drive. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off around the 37, and his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw, and that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. Well, interceptions have been a problem in this one. If he could have gotten his feet down here, it would have been another.
Would have been a huge one. They've had a great game taking the ball away. Thought they had another one, just unable to get those cleats in bounds.
2nd and 10 now. Haskins. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Derek Barnett. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up. Go, go. Let it go.
Now Haskins, 3rd and long. He's going to let this go for the end zone. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. That would have been from way downtown. Pretty big roll of the dice, and he comes up a bit short.
Yeah, you knew when you saw the holder setting up on the other side of the 50 that this was going to be a long shot. But to me, there's really no loss here because you've shown confidence in him. Kicking it from a long distance, that'll pay dividends. And the miss, you can shake that one off. He wasn't likely to make it in the first place.
Here's a handoff left side to Breida. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for a first down. On first down, Franks. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Running out of the gun here, Breida. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Another example of just a dominant performance by this defense.
Yeah, you hear all the time about teams that try to steal signals from the other side and try and learn their signs and their tendencies. It's almost like they get the answers to the exam the night before and were well prepared for this final.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Franks. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off Byron Jones. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing it.
Accelerating, and off he goes. He's at the 40, 20, and all the way in for the touchdown. Kalen Ballage saving his best for the playoffs with his 3rd touchdown of the game. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage. But look, this is a team, Charles, they faced adversity all year long. They had to fight and claw to win that division. But they're putting it all together here in the wild card game.
Feels like a statement, doesn't it? An absolute statement game. A message to the top seeds. Overlook us at your own peril. We're pretty darn good.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line.
At their own 17-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. The throw on the quick slant going to be complete. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule.
Here we go, here we go. 50, plant, Danny. Ready.
To throw on 2nd down. Franks. And he finds a man with a crossing route. A gain there of 21 yards. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now he lets it go deep. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off Byron Jones. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. On 3rd down, Haskins. And he's got his man on the out route. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. 1 quarter remains for the right to survive round 1 here in the AFC. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On 1st and 10, it's Haskins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Derek Barnett picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Here's Haskins to throw. He's going to let this one go deep. And that one falls incomplete. A 50-50 ball. A little dangerous. Could have been picked. Now it's 3rd down. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and forever. They run it with Balaj. That'll be good for 6, but now it's 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
This will be fielded at the 17. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And it'll be Dolphin football. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one. I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Franks. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
And that's complete to Adams. And he's brought down. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. They'll run here with Balaj. And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. Here's a run with Balaj. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make it 3rd and goal. Looking to throw, Haskins. And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. From 3 yards out. And the Raiders take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. Extra point right down the middle. And it is 28-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone.
The Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track? And now here's another interception. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That burst good for 20 and a first down. Right back to him on first down. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. The last run got 9. That leaves him with second and a yard. And to give this time to the tailback. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The Raiders on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And that rushing touchdown is 4. Puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it. But he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And last time wasn't pretty. 1 play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. A big play there for the Dolphins. 59 yards for him on the ground. A great run, but, you know, this is probably where the offensive coordinator is saying, geez, we could have used a couple of these earlier in the game.
Yeah, he's probably telling the head coach, well, talk to the run game coordinator about that. I just called the plays. We should have had this going right from the beginning.
And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2. On second down, it's Chandler, and he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On third down, a run from Breida. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. So on 4th down, Dolphin kicker Jason Sanders comes on. The kick by Sanders is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Right there in the middle, 55. Guys, it's game situation. Let's go. Check, 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 check.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
At the 46-yard line.
Watch twist. No, twist.
They'll stay on the ground. Balaj again. And he's got this down to the 35. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Now a handoff here to his running back. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll take this for a short gain on what will prove to be the final play of this ball game. And Charles, on the losing side of things, you know, they didn't come in here as the favorite to these playoffs, but they came in with a lot of hope and anticipation. Tough to have that all snuffed out so quickly.
It really is. You're one of 12 teams when the playoffs begin that still has a chance to win the Super Bowl. So that's pretty darn good. And as you often talk about, a lot of hope when the playoffs start. Well, that ended for them. But when they look back, they'll have a lot to be proud of and see if they turn the page towards the next season.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. So long, everybody.